Hi, my name's Tom Cole. I'm an illustrator and designer, and I've been working for about 12 years professionally as an illustrator. And yeah, I had the pleasure of doing this fantastic project for the Commonwealth War Graves Commission, and yeah, learning all about the Menin Gate and getting to illustrate it, which has been fantastic. When we first got the project, we initially discussed it being around about 8 images, but in terms of the scale of what each image needed to include, that was kind of a bit of an unknown. So as we went, we kind of developed different, and talked about different moments in time and which ones to focus on. So yeah, the scale of the overall project, I guess, we discussed at the start, but each individual image was kind of very open to interpretation. Some of the projects I've worked on previously have been lots of children's books. I've done a few that I wrote myself when I was starting out, and then figured out that writing and illustrating is quite a tricky job, because you'll do a great illustration and then you'll need to change the story, and you really don't want to get rid of that old illustration. But yeah, so I've done things like I did Warhorse with Michael Morpurgo, which was a fantastic project to do. That was really fun. And I think maybe helped lead to working on this. And yeah, lots of children's books and animation stuff and editorials and yeah, a whole range really. My favourite one I think is number 3, the Desolation, or the destroyed Ypres, with the Menin Gate in the background and 3 soldiers kind of sitting around a fire. I find that one, it kind of allowed me to be quite loose with the architecture of the scene, and also the lighting's just quite an exciting thing. A big sunset like that, I just, I love drawing that kind of thing. So yeah, getting that when that came together, that one really kind of clicked, and I felt, very happy. So working on these artworks was fantastic. It was great fun, and definitely highs and then definitely difficult parts. So, I mean, one of my main highs was the visit out there. I don't often get to do that for a project. And then, I mean, I wouldn't call them lows, but maybe some of the more difficult parts are just drawing lots of people. So drawing crowds is always a very difficult thing. And there was one image with lots of soldiers marching off into the distance from a difficult angle. So that was quite a challenge. The development of the artwork always starts with research, and I did a lot of my own, and I got loads of great research from the Commonwealth War Graves Commission. And then we started by going out to Ypres and visiting a lot of the sites, and doing lots of little sketches, little ideas, and all in pencil at this point, very kind of loose. And then after that trip, we came back and kind of discussed maybe 2 different ideas, which route to go down. One kind of maybe telling the story of an individual, maybe a child that lived in the city at the time. And the other idea kind of detailing these moments in history. And we went for that one because we felt like it kind of had a bit more flexibility. And yeah, then it's a big process of, lots of roughs, lots of sketching, building those sketches into digital roughs on the computer, all in black and white at this stage. And then once everybody's happy, taking that into colour, tweaking the colours a lot, adding the lighting. That's kind of where I do a lot of the drawing every shape very neatly, and then shadows, highlights, where's the sun going to be, where's the, all of that kind of stuff, and then bringing it into a final image. Bringing an illustration to life, kind of, it starts as a very small sketch, and you kind of don't really know what it's going to be, and then as you develop it, as you draw more and more and add more to it, you kind of really see it starting to kind of spring off the page really. And then it's never until the final moments really, adding the lighting is the key. I think that's the moment where it really clicks, and suddenly it feels like a real world. So the work of the Commonwealth War Graves Commission is something that I didn't know a lot about before this project, and getting that first email and then kind of delving into what they do and meeting people at the Commonwealth War Graves Commission and working in a team, I've kind of really got to know the kind of the scale and the scope of what they do and the importance of it. And it's, you know, just really, really fantastic and important work that they do, remembering the lives of people that died at war. They kind of took me in and showed me round and showed me all the archives and kind of took me over to Belgium, and we visited all the sites, and it's just been fantastic getting to know them and their passion and knowledge. It's just amazing walking around and being kind of, you know, told the story of all sorts of different individual people. It's just the kind of breadth of knowledge is incredible, and the passion that they inject into their work is fantastic, and even down to the gardening and the, you know, beautiful sites. It's as an organisation, you know, really impressive. Yeah, being at the Menin Gate and at the last post service was a really special thing. I mean, initially, just seeing the Menin Gate, it was so much bigger than I'd imagined. I'd looked at it on Google Street View to kind of get an idea of what the project was, but being there and seeing the names and the panels and the size of it and the scale, and then the number of people that turned up for the last post ceremony was just remarkable. And when the buglers played the last post, it really hits you. It's quite an emotive and strong moment, and I was very honoured to place a wreath down in the service, so that was a really one of those moments I won't forget. It was a real privilege. Oh, the thing that surprised me most, I mean, I think probably Tyne Cot, going to visit Tyne Cot was very emotive. And then, yeah, maybe the level of, just the level of detail that the kind of the uniforms and the slight intricacies between, you know, a Canadian soldier and a British soldier or an Australian soldier, you know, what they wore, that kind of thing. It's kind of like, you'd never imagine that just unless you start having to draw it, you know. It suddenly becomes kind of like, you know, you have to get it right. I'd absolutely encourage people to learn more about the work of the Commission and visit the Menin Gate, and it's just, it gets more and more fascinating as you dive deeper in. And the great thing about it is that there's all these sites that are so well maintained and preserved. You know, a lot of things that you might read about in history, you know, you can't go and visit them, or it's difficult. But here, with the work of the Commonwealth War Graves Commission, you really can walk around those sites and hear the stories of individuals, and it really kind of deepens your understanding.